working on, specifically Power of Evil on Unicorns of Love, still liking to pick up the mid lane Varus for certain matchups, and they will ban both Azir and LeBlanc.
Yeah,
LeBlanc
not wanting Faker to have that. He still only has one loss ever.
I think you have to ban Gragas too if you're SK Telecom, because that's part of the power behind the Vayne compositions that Najin likes to run. And there's the Nautilus, of course. They did heavily prioritize this in their last matchup. So
the other part of it, too, is that it seems like every season Watch has, like, one champion, and that is just the champion that Watch plays. And this season it's Gragas. He does okay on the Sejuani as well, of course, but I think taking the Gragas away from Watch any way you can is a pretty valuable thing right now against Najin.
And there's Sejuani, yeah, like you said. So looking to farm up early on here. Tom can take the Rek'Sai, if he so chooses, for some more early game punch. But Alistar has been such a priority for SK Telecom. Wouldn't be surprised to see it here. And the Cassiopeia may be locked in. Now, Cassiopeia, we always talk about how good EasyHoon's Cassiopeia is. And especially in comparison to Faker, who is also skilled on the champion, but funny story is that Faker is actually professionally undefeated on Cassiopeia. So while we normally associate that champion with EasyHoon, Faker is 3-0 so far in professional games playing it himself. So no slouch.
No, not at all. Been able to make plays on that like any other champion. Maybe Lulu and Noon? No. We'll see what Najin actually picks. I don't know about that Xerath. What do you think?
I would definitely not recommend picking that Xerath. I think Xerath is really not very good in the current meta. Take the Ahri instead. Yeah. Go with the Nunu. Try and get some sort of hyper carry performance here. And why not go with what worked last week? Ahri it will be alongside the Nunu for Watch. So setting OQ up, the Vayne pick may be incoming.
That certainly could be. I keep waiting for the day where SKT just fakes everybody out and sends Cassiopeia to the top lane, and then Faker gets to pick like a sick counter pick. Very last on red side.
I don't think it's going to happen.
Probably not this game, at least. No. So
what is this? Where is this Nunu going? Is the question. Is this a support Nunu? I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually.
Duke just switched up to teleport Flash. Is Duke playing top Sejuani?
Top teleport Sejuani.
I don't know what the answer to this question is. Obviously, Sejuani does have some escape mechanisms from the laning phase, but probably a little bit of a challenge to farm early on with that champion.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, you could sit under turret and sort of like AoE, I guess, but I feel like you'd probably get pushed back pretty hard.
So Rek'Sai and Corki here. Now, there's no guarantee that this Rek'Sai is going into the jungle.
Yeah.
Could very well go top lane. Top lane Rek'Sai with Black Cleaver is so powerful right now.
All right. And there is the Vayne. So it looks like this will probably be a support Nunu then, unless Pierre wants to play support Sejuani.
Or support Maokai, please.
Yeah, support Maokai as well.
Both supports we've had.
Support Ahri. Maokai mid. Yeah, Ahri's got the charm, you know. Get those sick 2v2s.
All right. Well, in any case, yeah, it looks like it will be a support Nunu in this game, like you mentioned. So it's all about powering up that Vayne again, and they've got enough crowd control to peel for Vayne. So Najin going with what worked against the Ku Tigers. Now, Rumble may go ahead and round out this composition. They want some power in the early game to try and take down Najin. Maokai falling surprisingly far through the picks and bans this time, and that's going to be the Rumble lock-in. So they have some good scaling here with the Cassiopeia mid lane, and they also have some really nice punch in the mid game with Corki and with Rumble. Maybe lacking a little bit of tankiness here, but they do have the Alistar to offset that somewhat. But even so, Najin, with all that crowd control in their hyper carry with a blood boil in the late game, is going to be difficult for SKT to deal with. So SKT needs to look for some early dragon fights here with the Corki. Try and scale off the dragon more than anything else.
Well, the interesting thing, too, is that Sivir fell all the way through picks and bans this game as well.
Yeah. I mean, generally speaking, SKT is a team that likes to play with the Corki, so that doesn't surprise me quite so much.
Still, though.
And OQ's been all about this Vayne recently.
He certainly has been. And you know the thing is with the Nunu, this is a Vayne that can also push pretty fast in lane as well too. If they can poke people out, they can do a lot of damage to the turret.
The problem is still you have the wave clear issue with Vayne.
Right.
There's no AoE, so
Yeah,
Corki will probably be able to do more damage to the turret just because he'll be able to get the minions down faster.
Nunu absolute zero wave clear.
There you go.
Problem solved. There. Why am I not coaching an NALCS team?
I hear that's about what it takes.
Maybe next season. Here we go, guys. Najin versus SK Telecom. Game number 1. It's go time. See, it was actually supposed to be me getting that CLG job. I sent them all the emails, but you just put your name on it. They're like, wow, this guy's brilliant. The truth comes out, Monty. I can't hide it anymore.
I've been exposed.
Again. Well, here we go. Najin versus SK Telecom. Welcome to Summoner's Rift. Bang using the wildly inappropriate for this time of year snow. What is that thing called? Bobsled? Yeah.
Toboggan?
No, bobsled. Definitely bobsled, Corky. It's like a two-man bobsled.
I know, I see that, but
I mean,
I thought it was actually called toboggan instead of bobsled.
Well, that I think would be incorrect because a toboggan doesn't have like a top on it, does it? It's just like a regular set. Oh, Goon taking some damage. SK Telecom chases him away.
Yeah, I'm just going to use the Q for the speed boost to make sure he gets out of there. Wolf not wanting to commit with a flash pulverized this early on, and instead OQ going to be trying to get in a deep ward on the top side after seeing that invade, so they can get this lane swap. Having a Nunu Vayne lane would not be a great thing for a 2v2 matchup, as we see
looks like
Bang and Wolf heading to the top side.
Yeah, Najin's going to be able to call the lane swap and get that 2v2.
Yeah, not too surprising.
Yeah.
And OQ is
some cheese. Or just seeing who comes in lanes, I suppose.
He's waiting to freeze the wave when the wave comes, so.
I want some cheese.
Well, we can go get a pizza afterwards.
No, we just need to wait for Bang to show. Oh, he's running away. What a coward! You coward!
Very difficult to cheese as a solo Vayne at level 1.
Oh, man. Wolf using that very disturbing, a lot of disturbing skins in this game. The Cowboy Alistar, like, herds his own people. Weird.
That's right. He's basically a slave lord.
Very bizarre. The Immortan Joe of League of Legends. Yep. Well, in the meanwhile, we'll see how this Faker Goong lane goes. Goong already having to pop a couple biscuits. But overall, it might be a little bit of a quieter early game this time.
Yeah. We'll see. The junglers could really affect this one. And if Goon keeps pushing up like that, he does leave himself pre-6 vulnerable to this Rek'Sai, but not quite at this stage. You see backed off right there just in case there was going to be a level 2 gank coming in, so he's playing somewhat cautiously. Couple CS lost under the turret right there.
Yep.
For OQ. I mean, Pure not going to be too useful in helping him CS early on. Does have the Relic Shield, though, on the Nunu. It's been so long since we've seen a support Nunu, Doa.
Yeah, it's been a really long time. And, you know, like you mentioned, it just doesn't have a ton of lane presence. There's not a lot of harassment you can do, which is a pretty core component of most supports these days. Oh, Faker gets hit with that charm. Gets poked pretty hard by Goong, actually. Not afraid, though. Look at all that damage from Faker. Faker, wow, if he had had an Ignite.
Watch was right there, but Tom had seen Watch enter that brush with the Tremor Sense. Otherwise, Faker may have all in that. Now, Faker didn't have Ignite.
Yeah. Well, if he had Ignite, he probably could have killed him just with that right there.
Yeah, no Ignite, though. Just has the cleanse to deal with the charms. Doesn't want to get all in. Also, just so much range CC here. You've got the Glacial Prison as well. Taking a look at the win rates on these champions. Bang sporting an impressive 90%. He's played that Corki a lot.
Yeah, yeah. So to maintain a win rate like that is pretty impressive. Decent KDA as well. And I would say better equipped than ever against the snowballs from Nunu with that skin.
So you can just glide on by.
They just deflect off the toboggan. It's a fun word to say, you know?
It's a good word.
Toboggan.
I wonder where it came from.
Probably some, I'm just going to make a wild guess here, but some Scandinavian country. Why should I not make wild guesses? Isn't that what this is all about?
That's right. That's what being a professional is, Noah.
Wild guesses. That's right. Well, Bang and Wolf understandably pushing this lane back to turret again. And in the mid lane, more farm.
Never know, though. Tom doing his typical Tom thing and putting a million wards around the dragon early so he can fight the jungler if they ever go into his river. This is Tom's river. The bottom side is always Tom's river. You never get to go down there. If you come down there, he fights you in the river.
Do you think they'd ever want to leave Vayne alone up in the... Oh, man. Meanwhile, action. Goong has to flash away. Looks like they'll get the summoner. So a little win for SK Telecom there. No flashes used on the SKT side for that one.
Yeah, caught him out there because he started to move over to that side, and with so many wards around that area, it was just a free tunnel knock-up for Tom in order to blow that flash.
So I was about to ask, do you think they would leave Vayne alone in the top lane and maybe send Nunu over to try to take an early dragon?
Oh,
try to help Watch take an early dragon, perhaps?
Maybe. That's a possibility, but I don't know if this Nunu has any points in consume right now, which might make it difficult.
True.
Not really a reason to take consume unless you're being heavily harassed, which they aren't going to be quite yet, just because this Alistar is mostly just a healing cow right now.
Right.
See what they do, though.
Watch a little bit of action on to Marin in the bot lane here, too. Chasing him. There's the equalizer just to get the slow. Marin turns around for a moment. That may have been a bad idea as he gets knocked up by Watch. There's the flash. And it looks like it's going to be enough, but another summoner taken out. Oh, wow, did he barely hide in there? I don't think they saw Wolf. Oh, no, they did. All right.
They did.
Wolf in there.
Yeah, they didn't see him until they threw the sapling in, but they suspected, considering that nobody in the top lane's on the map right now. And they're trying to initiate this lane swap, and we're going to have to see Marin TP just to make sure that he gets all the golden experience off of that wave.
Okay, so this could actually lead possibly to a dragon opportunity for Najin, depending on if they can take advantage of that teleport being down for Marin. We'll see. A little bit of counter juggling from Tom, stealing 3 of the 4 Raptors. Oh, Baker really chunking out Goong here. Gets charmed, but Goong can't stick around. He's taking too much damage.
Those trades from Cassiopeia are really, really brutal.
Well, Faker's starting to get a pretty massive CS lead in this mid lane as well, too. Up over 40, oh, not 40, 20 already.
Yeah, Marin somehow picked up a rather significant CS lead, 2 up against Duke. And do see the duo lane standing smack dab in a ward and tri-brush right now. So they will have to back off, head back down in the lane, and now damage onto the tower as Tom's tunnel farm in the bottom side. You can see he really hasn't spent any time at all on that top side of the map.
Yeah, well, I mean, the bot lane was pretty safe up there, and I suppose Marin's fairly safe up there now as well. We'll see if Watch wants to maybe try to take advantage of that. Looks to be hopping over the Baron Pit wall as we speak here. All right, no wards. Maybe an opportunity. Ult up from Marin. Ah, here he comes. Yep. It's like, oh, okay, I don't want to ward that right now. I already know.
Well, he didn't have any wards to ward it, so
okay.
That would have been a bit challenging. Just trying to check that brush, though, to see if anybody was in there. That's a good sense. I mean, a problem that Marin has had has been not playing as cautiously as he should when he doesn't have wards down. So that's a pretty nice adaptation that he had right there. And now some pressure down on this turret as Bang, is at level 6, has that sheen, but Oki's been doing a great job of farming so far, just playing back and hasn't really been punished for this Vayne pick at this stage.
Yeah, and we've seen games like that from him already this season as well, too, where he's not really too concerned about winning lane really hard or even winning lane at all. He just kind of sits back and farms and waits for his opportunities to clean up team fights.
Well, going even in farm in a Vayne lane is winning your lane pretty much, because you don't expect to actually leave that lane with an even amount of gold. So that's a nice little perk for him, at least at the moment. We'll see how hard Bang and Wolf want to push this. Tom again clearing out the Scuttle Crab in that bottom side. Watched out coming in. Rab, not going to go into lane just yet.
Well, we'll see if OQ and Pure try to start something. Tom is coming down as well, too, so this could end up being pretty volatile. But remember, no teleport. Well, no teleport for either side, actually, so don't need to worry about the top laners at the moment. Looks like Watch is going to recall. Yeah. No fight after all.
Yeah, Bang. They were waiting to see if Bang or Wolf would come in, but they're not really willing to yet because those rockets are pretty easily healed up by the Cutlass on OQ.
Yeah.
So I think it was a little much to ask to try and bait the all-in right there.
It's hard for both of these bot lane duos actually to do any sort of lasting damage to each other, but look at this, SK Telecom going for a dragon, and there's no vision for Najin right now. So Najin probably has a bit of an idea. Yeah, they found it with the Scrying Orb, but it's a bit too late, and SKT able to take this first dragon.
Yeah, nothing much they could do because the pressure has been there for SKT on mid and bottom side for most of this game.
Yep.
And if you lose control of both of the lanes like that and you're constantly shoved in, you can't expect that first dragon to go over the enemy if they are at all competent at League of Legends.
Pretty much. Controlling the dragon is what SK Telecom has definitely enjoyed doing very well over the last half of the last season and now early on in this season.
Najin also just doesn't need this dragon whatsoever. They're going to be fine without it early. They want to scale anyway and get that tankiness where the Rumble and Corki will not be so much of an issue, and if they can get onto Faker, they can just go ahead and take him out. Kind of Goong's job in this composition.
Right.
Assassinate the Cassiopeia if you can.
That is kind of the danger for SKT. Wolf taking some hits from Watch there, but that is kind of the danger for SKT in that Faker can be pretty easily bursted down by Goong or by OQ if he's isolated. Oh, Charm onto Faker. Goong doing a little bit more damage, but Faker's still coming out on top of that trade.
Faker's item build is very interesting. So he went tier into Merc Treads this game.
Yeah.
So what he's trying to do, and I haven't seen this, is he's using the Merc Tread tenacity in this matchup just to take less time on the charm. So he's intentionally playing aggressively and getting hit by the charm, but has the magic resistance and the tenacity to win the trades overall, to get some poison damage and win the trade via having more time to spam Twin Fangs and less time for Goong to get his trade in.
It's pretty smart.
I think it's really smart in this matchup.
Yeah.
This is something we haven't seen Cassiopeia players do before, but you can see the logic behind it in terms of laning against this Ahri, and the results are there. He's 35 CS up at this point. Look how aggressively he can play because he's absolutely not scared of this charm. Even if it hits him, it doesn't really matter.
Yep, they've got vision as well, too, so he doesn't really need to worry too much about anyone coming from the side. But yeah, Faker certainly with a big edge in this lane.
Jeez.
Yeah, wow. Anytime he hits him with the poison, those Twin Fangs are going to do so much.
Well, Goong decided not to build any magic resistance whatsoever, too, going for that Morellonomicon, wanting some more sustain in this lane instead of trying to get an Abyssal or something that we would normally see against Cassiopeia. And there's the tower going down, so Bang just keeping that minion wave fresh long enough to pick up a little bit of global gold. And see if Faker actually goes into the bottom side at this stage and lets Wolf and Bang head into the mid lane just to siege down the tower.
Might not be a bad idea. He's going over for the blue handoff right now, it looks like.
You know, obviously his item build would be awesome against this Vayne, so that may cause some problems, but...
Yeah. Oh, here we go. Faker pops that Ghost. He's going after him, or not the Ghost, rather, but a little bit of damage.
Yeah, that's just the speed buff from Cassiopeia.
Right.
But yeah, Goong has to be so careful. You can see Faker not committing to that with the flash either. Just happy with these incremental leads he's getting by repeatedly pushing Goong out of lane.
All right, well, Goong having a lot of issues, already down by 50 CS. And Faker doesn't look like he's slowing up anytime soon.
That's crazy for him to have that kind of advantage. OQ and Pure actually going to the mid lane right now just to clean up this wave. While Goong takes away the blue buff, so Faker coming back. Going for the Archangel staff first, so trying to increase the speed of his stacking early on. This build is rather fearless. Normally we see those Cassiopeias go tier into Abyssal Scepter and then finish up the Archangels after that, but that is not going to be the goal here. He does not care about Goong's damage. Goong, no Morellonomicon yet.
Do you think part of it, too, is that Faker wants to be ready to just do a ton of damage if he finds himself in a duel against OQ or Goong early on?
Well,
just wants to be able to keep up?
I think that would be helpful if the Seraph's Embrace gets completed, sure. Abyssal helps you out with your damage, too. I just think he wants to scale quickly here.
Oh, a bit of a dive onto Duke here. Going to twist advance over to Wolf and be able to flash away. But Faker's going to get a lot of damage done on this mid lane turret, down to about half health now. And dragging up in about a minute. So we'll see if SKT can take that one again. Looks like they are going to get this tier 1 up in top lane.
Yeah, and this is so problematic because I don't know what happened in the bottom lane between Marn and Duke early to create this big CS differential, but the solo lanes are both winning very hard for SK Telecom. And even though OQ went even, he doesn't have the wave clear to go bail out his losing lanes right now. So all of their towers just getting mercilessly chipped. And we start to see this large gold lead develop for SKT.
Yep. Marn just starting to get some wards down. Najin wants to get a little bit of position on that. Now bangs in the mid lane. Okay, so they will just go ahead and push down this mid turret.
It's actually just going to Valk out right there.
I guess so. Maybe wanting to go back and pick up his boots or something like that before Dragon spawns.
Yeah, they're trying to set up for this Dragon fight, which is the reason for the back. But I think they could have put a little more pressure onto that mid lane turret. Well, maybe taking it out right there because they have so many wards. Look how many deep wards they had. They knew that nobody was going to be ambushing this Corki. Corki had Valk and Flash anyway, but I suppose slow and steady here. Just go for the Dragon, which is coming up. Don't leave that to chance, and then you could transition into the mid lane right afterwards.
Well, it has been SKT's kind of prerogative for a while now. Is kind of slow and steady. Wait till the late game. But this time around, they're able to probably end things a little bit sooner if things keep going the way they are. A fight over the Sculler Crab, and it looks like
Tom got it with Smite.
Okay, yeah.
With Smite, so he's got another charge coming in. So yeah, they do retain control of the Speed Shrine, which has pretty much been SK Telecom's on the bottom side this entire game so far. Pink wards are down, but they're letting Najin get into the river right now. And they're going to lose that pink ward immediately, so Faker finally moving over.
I guess to join up with the rest of the team, teleport's available for both top laners right now. And SKT has started it, so some pushing on the mid lane from Najin. Dragon getting lower, and there's a teleport coming from Najin. They want to try to make a play here. Ult goes in a little bit early, though. Where's the follow-up? Faker not even needing to use that cleanse. Here comes Goong, though. Leaves the fight immediately. Wolf getting a nice pulverize onto Watch. Watch getting very low. Pure creating a nice big zone. Gets a kill. Gets first blood with that absolute zero. And Najin on the run now. Tom went down, but it looks like SK Telecom should be able to push him back.
Yeah, they're definitely going to push him back, and I don't think Najin can actually defend this turret right now either. Yes, they lost Tom right there. Faker tried to flash for the Petrifying Gaze, got some slows in, but they were able to peel well enough. But still no siege coming. I mean, Corki can shoot these rockets and continue to push down this turret if he wants to. Faker backing off pretty early, actually, in this fight.
Yeah, I feel like they maybe could have gotten more out of that, but deciding, again, to just play it slow and safely.
Yeah, they really chunked out Najin. I'm surprised they didn't want to fight that a little bit more aggressively and try and take the gold out of the tower as well. A little bit interesting there. Tom didn't actually smite during that. It was just taken away by Faker, who now has that fully upgraded Seraph's Embrace.
Yep. Yeah, it feels like SK Telecom just isn't too concerned about that mid lane. And they were like, well, everybody's there right now. It'd be easier to just come back later and do it.
They do want to use that power spike, however. Faker going for a needlessly large Rod next, so no hint of Abyssal Scepter here. May just want to get a death cap and maximize his damage early. Could also get that Zhonya's Hourglass to help him out a little bit against OQ.
What about Ludens for just a little bit extra mobility, too?
Ludens is excellent on Cassiopeia, so.
Yeah, wouldn't be a bad second item. Anything to make Cassiopeia slither faster.
Yeah, it's just her spell spamming as well causes that Ludens to proc a whole lot.
Very true. Yeah, Faker continuing to be 50 CS up in this mid lane.
Oh, we've seen so many Cassiopeia bans, so many blue side Cassiopeia first picks, and Goong played it, but he played it against Anarchy, and he did not look great on Cassiopeia himself.
Well, it's not really his style of champion, you know? No. It's very meta right now, but Goong pretty much can only play assassins. Oh, the leash. The leash is real. Oh well, give up. Who needs that blue buff anyway? Oh man, they may lose their mid lane turret because of this. Wow. Looks like they will.
That's actually huge.
Man, so the blue buff misleash causes Najin to lose that mid lane turret. They couldn't get back in time to defend it.
Yeah, they may not have been able to get defended anyway, but they definitely couldn't when that leash went down. So it's a hard thing for Najin to deal with. More wards going in, deep for SK Telecom. Vision control for them has been on point this game.
Well, yeah, this is just leading into SKT kind of taking a cakewalk into the enemy jungle and removing all of Najin's camps from the equation here.
For SKT, this game has been incredibly smooth in terms of their map control and just their lane dominance. I mean, look at this. They've walked out to a 4,000 gold lead and completely destroyed the outer ring of turrets in a game that has a single kill at 20 minutes, and it's not even theirs. And 2 dragons.
It's too tactical for me, Monty. It's too tactical.
I like it.
I need more action. I know this is definitely your kind of game. What, the team with less kills is winning because of objectives and
I know.
Strategy?
It's beautiful, isn't it?
Wow.
Can we all take a moment to appreciate how gorgeous this is?
Terrible.
Like a Da Vinci or a Van Gogh.
Yeah.
See, you're not into that? You like the Caravaggios, the ones with all the violence?
Yeah, man. Caravaggio's my favorite. How did you know? It's true. Well, I'm more about the way that he tends to use a single, very stark light source in his paintings. I've emulated that quite a bit in my own oil painting. Yeah. No, in all seriousness, he's probably one of my favorites. Definitely one of my favorites. I was also really into Mortal Kombat as a kid, so, you know. Plenty of severed heads in Caravaggio. Faker comes back to defend his mid lane. Just in time. Bit of help from Wolf. 60 CS up now. We'll keep you updated, don't worry.
And there's the Abyssal Scepter from Marin too. Fantastic item to help Faker out as well.
Oh yeah.
As he continues his utter dominance on Cassiopeia. Wow, I'm surprised at Goong this time. He really got rocked in the laning phase. And the wards were there for Faker to do it. Tom actually playing a more Bengi style this game of just heavily warding around mid and in the enemy jungle, so Faker could play that aggressively with those early Merc treads. And there it is, death cap completed.
It just seems like with Faker on your team in the mid lane, that's just the better way to play jungle. You know, you just need to give Faker the breathing room to do what he does best.
Yeah, and Faker really only plays one way, and that's balls to the wall.
Hey, if it works, who's going to stop him?
Well, not Goong this game, I guess, is the answer.
Definitely not. Dragging up in about 25 seconds, but SK Telecom is so strong right now. I think Najin's going to have a very hard time fighting this if they want to.
Faker's in a huge power spike compared to Goong. He can just walk all over him right now. Marin, in the meantime, is just working.
Let's get a turret. Why not?
Working on that top side tower. Overheating a little bit, but he's got that TP up already. Duke is here, but he's going to have to home guard into top. to deal with this tier 2 push. He's not even going to make it in time.
Wow, they're just going to take the tier 2? Yeah, Martin. Just takes it, and Duke will be able to push him back for now. But Marin's fine with that. He's like, all right, I just need to get out of the way so that I can tell. Down and help my team take Dragon in a moment. SK Telecom. So fast. Here we go. Teleport coming in.
Missed his ult.
Doesn't need to go for the Black Cleaver because he has the CDR from elsewhere now, and both of those items
to take advantage of the struggles to get his death cap.
Yeah, it just doesn't seem like Gung is going to be in a position to really blow anybody up this game unless he can get back onto Bang rather.
Well, even Bang is going to have a Blade of the Ruined King soon, so he'll have that active at least to help him out.
Yep. So it's really on OQ, you know? OQ needs to find opportunities and fights to really carry this team.
Yep, there's the Blade done right now. He's already got that Aegis from Tom.
Yeah.
But SKT, the Dragon going to Najin is obviously quite good for Najin because they're stalling out this game. Now, I'm not sure that even this Blood-Boiled Vein is going to be able to do more than...
Oh, Marin having to use that equalizer, getting caught by OQ, flashing away. Duke's going to jump right on him. Marin getting OQ very, very low. OQ barely making it through that fight, but SK Telecom taking Baron in the meantime. Watch knows, but Wolf just shoves him away. Baron taken by SK Telecom.
Yeah,
so
you
Marin
can't
giving his life for that one.
You can't commit on the bottom side of the map to that degree without teleport with your AD carry, who's the only person on your team doing damage because of how far behind Gung is, against SKT, who has a Cassiopeia and a Blade of the Ruined King on their AD carry already, because that Baron is just going to melt like we saw.
Now, that said, Najin does manage to take a tier 1 in bot lane out of it, so able to get a little bit of something.
As
but now, you know,
their
who's there?
tier 2 in mid.
Yeah, who's there to take the... Who's there to defend this? Nobody, really. Barely survives for now.
Well, they're worried about Gung's flank right here. They've got the wards to give him the heads up. Misses the charm, actually, as Tom emerges from the tunnel.
Seemed pretty close, but didn't quite connect. Yeah, now Marin all the way down in bot lane again. Pushing things up, so not able to teleport up to help SK Telecom if they need him. Now moving over. So Najin, not quite dead yet.
Not quite dead yet.
Nope.
The Najin motto.
Oh, Gung though. Barely escaping, has to use that ultimate to get away from Bang. Wow, Bang actually doing a lot of damage with those rockets, and that's going to be a dead tier 2 now. So another trade for a tier 1.
Najin sent 4 people topside and had to recall right there. They do lose the tower. Now they may not have been able to get that one anyway, or to save it rather. So they trade 1 for 1, but tier 2 for tier 1 now. SK Telecom looking to move this minion wave closer to the last tier 2 standing for Najin mFire.
Yeah, and the more they can do that too, the easier it's going to be to take this dragon as well, and even things up in that regard.
I'm surprised that SK Telecom has been so passive this game with the advantage that they have. They're playing this really safely.
Yeah. Well, I think they've seen what, you know, Gung and OQ have done to other teams, and they just don't want that to be them.
Well, but letting OQ get a billion farm is a good way to let it happen to you. So OQ's 1-0-1, and he's managed to stay alive and keep on farming. He has fallen behind in terms of CS now, but for the most part in that early game did keep pace with Bang. And is Najin actually going to fight over this next dragon?
Well, might be tough if they do. Faker picked up his Void Staff, so he's going to be doing even more damage now.
Yeah, Faker's completely ridiculous at this point in time.
Yeah. 675 AP already. Meanwhile, Marin's got his Zonias. Tom has his Locket of the Iron Solari, so they've got that MR as well, too. So yeah, SKT is really in, again, you know, prime position for a team fight here, but we'll see if Najin gives it to them.
Yep, just pushing forward, making sure they have pressure for when this dragon starts. Ward's already set up by SKT.
Right. Najin's done, I feel like, a pretty good job of being evasive this game. Teleport coming in, though, for Marin. Najin, though, yep, knowing when to back off. They're not going to give him a chance to use Equalizer over the wall or anything like that.
Sidewave's already set up for SK Telecom as well, so Najin has a lot on their plate to deal with.
Yeah, they may have to just give this dragon up. We'll see if maybe they want to rush a tier 2 or something. Dragon getting taken by SK Telecom right now. And Wolf on the side to kind of zone a little bit. SKT gets it. They're going to turn onto Najin. Not able to quite catch anybody, it looks like. Marin still has it. Equalizer, here we go. Coming in now. Can they catch him? Get the headbutt pulverized. Great equalizer as Najin tries to escape into the jungle. Duke going deep now, trying to escape and banging a lot of hits from the outside. Absolute Zero does a little bit of work, but Pure taken down as well. That's Najin's or SKT's first kill of the game. And number 2 comes in as Faker takes down Duke. And SKT, whoa, Faker flashing over the wall. Wants that kill onto OQ. Wolf coming in with the headbutt, the pulverize, the double kill for Faker. And SKT coming alive now in 30 minutes.
Faker has such smooth Cassiopeia mechanics in these team fights. And that is SK Telecom. Somehow had an 8,000 gold lead with 0 kills. Doesn't even get a kill until after 30 minutes into this game.
It's crazy,
and still just crushes Najin.
Wow, Goong just can't even escape his own base. Tom taking apart this inhibitor, and if he can't finish it off, the rest of SKT should be able to. Watch and Pure maybe in a little bit of trouble as they get knocked up. SKT finally taking that inhibitor, and they'll just back off. Successful. And that's what SKT was waiting for. They finally got the fight. They finally were able to beat Najin.
Yeah, great save on the equalizer. Much better equalizer from Marin this time around as he catches them all in the choke. And as soon as everybody's taking poison from Faker in there, easy to track people down. Faker even flashing over the wall.
That was just perfect, though. SKT, you know, I mean, Cowboy Alistar hurting Najin into that little choke, getting him ready for that equalizer. That's right. Really couldn't have been much better.
Hurting them to the slaughter.
Yep, that's right. They were like cows to the slaughter.
All right.
Yeah, look at that. Just pushing them all in there.
That's such a good equalizer. OQ tumbles off of it. And there we have the ult from Watch, but it doesn't buy them enough time right there. Bang. Just going to QSS out of it. And remember that Faker has cleanse as well. So here he comes, getting the poison down, getting that little bit of speed, and then hitting all those twin fangs to finish it off. And this flash right here over the wall with the petrifying gaze forces a flash out of OQ, forces that condemn, but doesn't actually get the stun.
Wow.
And Wolf coming from the flank knocks him into the wall for the Alistar combo and the finisher on the twin fangs.
Yep, Faker with another needlessly large rod on top of everything else now, so the damage is pretty immense. And look at this, they're going to try to catch Wolf here. Wolf backing away with Faker. Bang is there as well, too, to fire those rockets into the choke. Faker has his ult up. This could be bad. Najin needs to be careful here. Faker turning around, waiting for an opportunity. There, uses the ult, freezes quite a few. An equalizer comes in as well. Faker unafraid of that absolute zero as Najin chase away again. There's the double kill. Will he get more? Marin picks one up. Man, Faker just waited, and again, Najin finds himself in a choke with that Cassiopeia ult and the Rumble ult too. Does not work well.
And Faker waited so long on that petrifying gaze, actually waiting until Wolf went down to find the right time to use it. Watch.
It really was perfect.
Picked the wrong bush to recall from, and now that corresponds with Baron coming right back up. So Najin did what they could. They had to make a pick before that Baron started. Their only way to get back into the game was to get a pick before Baron, take Baron, and try and rush the Nexus. Not going to happen.
That Baron could not have come up in a more perfect time for SKT. Yep. Man, that Cassiope ultimate, we knew it was coming. Everyone's just like, all right, wait for it, wait for it.
Wait for it.
Yep.
There it was. There is Wolf.
Pretty perfect.
Buffing minions. Tom now. Void rushing into the bottom jungle. Not going to be able to get down to that minion wave with the Vayne there. Doesn't want to risk it. Pure also giving OQ some vision to make sure that he doesn't get ambushed by anyone. And now this should just about wrap this one up.
I would say so. I think it's going to be very difficult for Najin to fight this. Bang coming in, just decides to jump right onto Goong. Whoa, Wolf comes in with the headbutt pulverize.
Wow, it knocked him out of the Spirit Rush right
kidding,
there.
Yeah.
For Bang to finish. Bang just so strong, he's able to 1v1 the Ahri right now. That is not a good sign for Najin.
Not so much. And I think all signs point to SK Telecom taking a pretty smooth game one here. They've got that Baron buff. They have minimal resistance from Najin coming in. Duke trying to defend as best he can, but SKT, we'll see if they can push for the win right here. Those knockups say they probably can. Another nice equalizer for Marin. Gets OQ. There's the exhaust on him as well as he gets pushed back into his own base. A double kill for Bang at the end of all things. And there goes Nexus turret number 2 with Watch gone, with Pure gone, and OQ undefended. That is going to be game one going to SK Telecom. GG.
What a stifling performance. And for a team that didn't have any kills until after 30 minutes, by 35 minutes, they had 11.
Yeah.
That's the amount of advantage that they got out of that laning phase from having Marin and Faker be so far ahead in terms of CS and controlling the early dragon.
That is what you call
lights out performance from SKT. Very nice.
That was a plan coming together in spades for SKT.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Najin can't lose lane that hard against SK Telecom, a team that can turn that CS into so many objectives,
right,
and a commanding victory.
Yeah, pretty one-sided. We'll see what Najin has in game number 2 to try to combat this. Doesn't seem like they're going to be able to win a game unless they can put, I feel like, some sort of early pressure on. You know, Watch needs to do something to support those lanes. Otherwise, you would think the same thing's just going to happen again.
Well, and as much as I like OQ's Vayne, OQ is a player who wins his lane. And when you play him on Vayne, you're almost taking that away from yourselves, which makes it harder to snowball if something like we just saw happened.
That's a good point.
But man, Faker was solid all the way through, and Tom as well.
Yeah.
Playing a much more reserved style of jungling than we've seen in the past, just focusing on vision primarily.
That's right. Helping Faker do his thing, and what Faker does is destroy you. So, SK Telecom with one game already in their favor. We'll see if Najin can come back and tie it up after the commercial break, but don't go anywhere, guys. Champion Summer will be right back.
We take a look at what went down here, and we see Faker just pursuing Goong endlessly
Hard to lane against that.
with those twin fangs.
Oh, that was so close.
Barely not killing. The option to ban all three of those mid laners if they want to. I'm a bit surprised to see that. SK Telecom has been. They don't ban Kalista on blue side.
I wonder if they're going to do... Oh, okay. I was wondering if it was going to be a first pick Gragas, perhaps, but no, banning that away from Najin. So what's the plan here? What's the idea?
I'm
that SKT
very
has?
curious about SK Telecom's draft now.
Bang's going to first pick Vayne and show OQ how it's done. There you go.
Damn, that would be pretty bold.
Yep. But then they switch, it'll be a top lane Vayne from our end. Cassiopeia ban. And so I'd imagine it would have to be the LeBlanc ban. No, SKT banning out LeBlanc.
Wow, what are they doing this time?
Yeah, this is a bit odd.
I'm really surprised to see SK Telecom's draft strategy.
Maybe they really want to first pick Bard? Perhaps?
No,
Like,
Dylan,
that
that's
was-
you. You want them to first pick Bard. Don't confuse their desires with your desires.
My desires are my only analysis.
All right, Alistar.
Oh, that makes sense. Makes sense to ban that against Wolf. They could first pick a Thresh here. They could first pick a Sejuani. Rek'Sai as well, of course. We'll see what they decide to go with. Or the Gnar.
That would be a little bit of a strange first pick coming in. Just because there are still obviously a lot of options for Najin up against that Gnar. And they left the Nautilus up this time too, which Najin almost certainly will pick in their first round of the draft on the red side.
Yeah.
We've seen that from them last week, and because it's a flex pick for them, it's a great pick for the red side in general.
So first pick Sejuani for SK Telecom, wanting to keep that away from Watch. So they've taken away Gragas and Sejuani from Watch, and that could cause some problems for Najin. Watch hovering over one of his favorite junglers, Nocturne. We used to see so many Nocturne games from Watch back in the day.
Yeah, but not...
Same with Elise.
Same with Elise. I think Rek'Sai and Thresh are the safer pickups right now, so
Oh,
it won't
definitely.
be the Nautilus priority this week.
You know, interestingly enough, I never thought I'd really be saying this, but Varus is open for SK Telecom. He was banned against him in game number 1. So if SKT wants to wants to play that champion that is apparently ban-worthy, they have a chance.
Well, if it's a mid lane one, though, you don't really have to ban it on them on blue side because Varus is only useful in certain matchups. So you don't want to put something with that low amount of mobility unless you can counter pick with it on the red side.
You want it to be a last pick. I see.
Yeah, typically speaking.
Let's see. Now, Wolf actually has one of his highest win rates on Janna this season. I believe he only has one loss ever. I was looking at stats today, professionally.
Yeah, Janna Lucian, I wouldn't be surprised to see the Lulu for Faker this game.
Yeah.
They have so much protection for this Lucian already. They love to play these pick compositions.
Yep, makes sense.
Around the Lucian, and especially because they're on blue side and they're going to have to blind pick their mid laner. Just go for something that's going to have a large chance of not being assassinated by something from Goong's champion pool here, Gnar and Jinx, another late game setup for Najin mFire.
You're kind of laughing, but is it safe? Is it safe to go with this Jinx against a team like SKT? Apparently they think it is.
Yeah, they have a really strong lane. That Jinx Thresh lane has always been incredibly powerful.
Yeah, but then you have to think, well, OQ is no deft.
Well, OQ possesses some of the best laning in this league, so if anybody can pull it off with a Rek'Sai in the jungle for a gank, it's going to be OQ and Pure. So I think that he'll be just fine on that champion. And now, SKT Telecom thinking about what they can run with here. Remember last week they did go with Ezreal, another very safe blind pick in the mid lane. With that escape and also the ability to affect the map and control the minion waves and the poke power. So they could go with Nunu Ezreal here.
Yeah, that would seem
well,
pretty
no,
reasonable.
they already have a jungler, so the Nunu would be
top Sejuani. Top Sejuani. We've talked about this.
But they could go with the Ezreal. They could blind pick the Varus for Faker
Do it.
the Nunu.
Yes, I believe it has been locked in.
All right.
Wow. You know, the thing is, though, to be completely fair, yeah, it's probably mid lane Varus, but could be mid lane Lucian.
I just have questions, such as, what happens if he picks Zed right now?
Oh, come on, Goong. Never play. That guy never plays Zed. I don't ever think he's ever had a good game on Zed. Certainly not Goong.
Just Varus with his poke, yeah, he's great against champions like Kassadin that have to come up to melee the wave and don't have good mobility early, but Varus is a champion that can get all in very effectively, or you can just do that.
Yeah,
which is match poke for poke. That's also a legitimate option. Goong has never been a good Yasuo player, though.
Yeah, and does Windwall block a hail of arrows? That's what I'm wondering. I suppose Lulu would be better.
Yeah, Lulu's a very safe choice. You can whimsy your way out of those difficult situations. You've got a shield.
Yep.
You have poke of your own. So I don't really know about this Varus pick under these circumstances. I think it was smart of players like Power of Evil to pick it as a lane counter pick, but to blind pick it, bold.
Things Faker does.
Yeah, things Faker does. I think this is his first professional game on Varus. I will double check that real quick.
I would be surprised if it wasn't.
I would also be surprised if it wasn't.
Yeah. Well, either way, we're about to see Faker play Varus in the mid lane. Interesting.
I think I would remember it, considering I have, in fact, seen every single game that Faker has ever played professionally.
Yeah. Yeah. If anyone would know, we would, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But there have been a lot of games, so I'll take a look at that. In the meantime, a lot of AD buffing. Marin will be on the top lane Nunu. Now, that's just an annoying matchup. He's incredibly difficult to kill in lane. He's a bit of a lane bully because he has so much sustain via that consume, and he just constantly snowballs you and makes your life a living hell. So, very passive pickup, but this should be a fun double AD composition. However, no AP damage late game at all. So, Najin can itemize very efficiently, and if they can make the late game, they really shouldn't have too much of a problem just rolling over SK Telecom.
Yep.
So it's all about the mid-game siege for SKT.
Well, it's bound to be an interesting one either way, guys. SKT looking for the 2-0 with a mid-Varus. Let's see if they can do it. And here we go. Welcome to Summoner's Rift, SK Telecom versus Najin mFire.
I can officially confirm that this is Faker's first ever game professionally playing Varus. And it was banned.
Hey, it's a nice drawing of SKT. That's like if SKT were those, like, you know, kids' toys. They're kind of like Legos, but they're a little bit bigger so they don't choke on them. That's like the SK Telecom version. Duplo blocks, that's what it was, yeah. When I was a kid, see, I had the Legos, but my younger siblings, they had Duplo.
I see.
Yep, that's right. Those noobs. Get on my level, Duplo users.
they actually were noobs to being alive, so I guess that's
true.
fair.
Life noobs. Well, Faker and his kind of oily demon pants are going to see if they can take out Najin. Varus' I'm not going to lie, Varus' pants have always disturbed me.
Well, I mean, his arm is turned into a bow. I don't really know how he does anything useful, because it's not like just not having an arm. You actually have this giant crossbar in the way of everything you do.
Like, how do you sleep without rolling over on that? That would be, like, really uncomfortable, man. Well, instant pull-up bar, though. You just find anything, you just put it up there between them, use your other hand, just work out, man. That's why he's so cut.
The one-handed pull-up?
All those pull-ups, yeah.
Damn.
I know. Pretty impressive. But, of course, really, when you think about it, the only article of clothing Varus is wearing is, like, that scarf.
Yeah. Disturbing.
Yeah. I know, right?
It's a headband, I think.
Is it?
I think it's a headband.
Oh, yeah, you're right. It's a headband, yeah.
He's got to look cool, not stay warm. He's already naked.
I guess so. His demon pants keep him warm, Monty. Don't worry. Do you know the story of Varus?
I don't.
He was guarding this thing, and then a bad army came to his village to get the thing, and they were killing all the stuff, so he took the thing, and he defended his village, but in the process became corrupted by it. And it was a bow, I guess. I guess that's what the thing was.
Sounds about the quality of writing that I expect from Riot Games.
And so then he went to the League of Legends. Which is just...
where there totally aren't summoners anymore.
Completely
and no
unrelated.
one knows why anyone is fighting any longer.
It's a great mystery. Now it turns into one of those like animes about fighting where at one point one of the characters inevitably yells, "What are we fighting for?" Mostly happens in Gundam, I believe.
It's the pointless violence that takes place in Summoner's Rift.
Right, like this one, man. Top lane.
What an unenlightened world Runeterra is.
Apparently. Except for Piltover, they're very enlightened. But only in a book sense. They don't really have the street smarts going for them. Duke's going to recall here. Pick up some stuff already out of pots. And watch. Looking for an opportunity here onto Faker. Doesn't find it, though.
Yeah, well, Faker has healed this game, and we know that SK Telecom likes to run double AD compositions, but I really prefer it when they run it with something like Rumble in the top side, instead of all-inning on all this attack damage. They do have so many ways to buff with the Blood Boil and with the Eye of the Storm from Janna, but even so, the Thornmail is going to be ridiculously effective against SK. I mean, absurdly effective. So, again, with this composition, you have to strike early or you lose. Basically, the siege has to work, and Najin should have enough wave clear that I'm not entirely confident that it is going to work here.
We'll see. Wolf with the Fnatic Janna skin. After MSI, I guess he wants to channel a little bit of the power of Yellowstar into his play.
He's got to get some roaming on then.
Yep. You can do that on Janna. Wolf has done that on Janna.
Yes.
Many times. Well, so far, though, a couple little gank attempts here and there, but mostly farming, and Faker already jumping out to a little bit of a CS lead over Goon. Yep, just eat it. Eat it all, Marin.
Marin just being as annoying as possible right there. You can see this CS differential. This is what Nunu does to a lane. He is useless late game. Nunu's a champion that will do nothing at 6 items. Like, nothing at all besides buff 80 carries, which fortunately SKT has 2 of, but he will deny the other top laner from being very useful just to being a massive bully laner.
I see you're unfamiliar with full AP ARAM Nunu, Monty. He does quite a bit.
Yeah, his one spell that does damage is truly awesome.
Yep, sure is. Hey, his snowball does a respectable amount if you go full AP.
That's what I was referring to, was his snowball.
Oh, well, his ult does a lot too. That's 2 spells.
Yeah, I think it's be pretty unlikely for him to get a full channel ultimate off with all that crowd control on Najin.
Probably not. It's true.
So he only, in this case, has one spell that does damage. Will be funny to see. Someday, perhaps, we will see Marin build full AP.
Yeah, well, you know, we said they need some AP damage. Why not now?
Get Rod of Ages. Go for it.
That's right.
Go for it, Marin. I believe in you.
Yep, Rod of Ages into Death Cap. Standard.
I'd like to see Luden's Echo just so
Yeah.
that snowball just ripples out.
Proc off the snowballs. Because that's the only spell you can use Luden's with on Nunu. Oh, Faker. Going way up on the Goon, but really kind of paying for it, taking a lot of damage. Oops. That was maybe a little bit overeager. But Faker just really trying to dominate this lane like he did before, and it's not working quite as well this time. Meanwhile, Watch goes for this early dragon, but Tom, I think, is going to scout this out.
Oh, this is so dangerous. Dragon's a lot more powerful than it was previously.
No.
He's not going to see it quite yet, but
Yeah, Watch can't kill it.
But
Did he
he
not get
saw
the
it with
patch notes?
the tremor sense, I believe.
Possibly, but
He may have gone under. He may have gone under just to heal right there and then backed off after seeing Tom with the tremor sense. We didn't have the camera on Watch right there.
could be. Either way, yeah, pretty tough to take the dragon that early post changes. We are on 5.9 now, so that dragon is a bit more powerful.
Still, yeah, that's still a really hard dragon to get early on.
Yeah. Our Watch doesn't seem to be slowed down too much by it, though.
All right, well, early blue buff, well, not early blue buff, second blue buff, I just should say, being handed off right here to Goong. So this will continue some pressure on that lane. Not really sure what Faker's plan is here. Obviously, he's going to go for that Muramana first, and then move to armor penetration from there, and just be a poking machine.
Yep.
As you are with Varus. It's a little bit of damage right there to Goong, but Goong's shields do make this lane just a little more difficult to deal with.
Yeah, all in all, it's going to be pretty annoying for SKT to do the same thing they did last game. They're simply not going to be able to do the same thing they did last game, I'd imagine. But so the question is, for me, I mean, when does Marin start to leave this lane? When does he start to kind of move around the map and help his team try to take objectives?
That's a great question. I mean, he does have that CS lead, but it comes down to the item breakpoints too. Bang has to, it's about power spikes with this composition. If your grouping and sieging doesn't work, and you don't take towers quickly, as soon as you hit 1 or 2 items,
Whoa.
then you're just going to lose the game.
Yeah.
That's why I'm not a big fan of what SK Telecom is doing. I feel that it's pretty risky, but it'll be funny to watch and see if they can actually pull it off.
They'll get style points at any rate. And it's always fun to see Faker on a new champion. He always manages to do things you didn't think were possible on said champion. He's got this habit. So we'll see. I mean, Varus doesn't seem like a very flashy champion, you know, when you think about it. You just never know what this guy's going to do.
It's the arrow skill shots. His ult's hard to hit at least, so maybe he'll have a nice one of those.
It's not as hard to hit as it used to be. They increased the missile width a couple patches ago.
That's true.
Yeah. I don't play AD carry a lot, but actually Varus is one of the ones I play more than others because he's pretty easy. That's right. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to pretend that I think he's really cool or something. I just think he's easy. That's all. I play Caitlyn and Varus.
Yep.
That's it.
Smart.
Sometimes Graves.
There you go.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
Got it. If I have to play ADC, it's a plan. Yep. Oh, Jinx, too. Just walk up and attack stuff.
Occasionally just panic, shoot some traps out.
Yep, that's right.
So Marin and Duke involved in the annoying Nunu conflict where he gets a free heal from his consume and then his free spell, so he just autos a bunch of stuff constantly and then walks up and snowballs you like a jerk.
Yep, and he's been able to jerk his way up to a 20 CS lead.
Let's not put it that way.
Be a jerk.
let's not say it like that, though.
Sure. Hey man, I don't know where your mind's at right now. I'm just trying to make things interesting, you know?
Well, you definitely are. Mission successful.
Mission accomplished. Break out the banner. This lane is wonderful. Yep, that's really annoying. It's not the most fun to watch either.
I wonder if he's going to go for Righteous Glory.
Oh, here we go. Ult on Nagoon. He is not making it out. First blood goes to Tom. Only because Faker couldn't fire his arrows fast enough.
Wow, Tom didn't even have to flash for that, so I'm really curious how he got that far into lane to use that ability.
No kidding. It seemed like he just sort of walked up. Weirdly enough.
Going to take a bunch of damage right there. OQ going for a pretty greedy build here, but not too much damage on his turret yet. Avarice Blade will be the choice. Needs that gold.
Ooh. Nice dodge from Bang. Oh, knock up onto Pure. So the poking really starting to intensify for SKT. They've got that pressure down in bot lane, and Faker able to get a decent amount of damage on that mid lane turret now. With
he has to, though, is the thing. He absolutely has to.
Whoa,
Warren is going to get tossed back into the tower right there.
no
Wow, that's a
deal.
lot of turret shots, actually. Oh, jeez.
Oh, Marin. Flash. Oh, man. And Duke gets a 1v1. You know, Nunu, surprisingly, not the best duelist in the top lane.
He's going for Rod of Ages.
Wow, he is. He's actually doing it. He's doing the AP Nunu.
Okay, well.
Nice. I like it. I like it.
He'll go Rod of Ages into tank, but
Sure.
I mean, Righteous Glory would have been pretty silly with that catalyst as well.
Well, what else do you build on a top Nunu, you know?
I don't know.
Teleporting back in the
Frozen Heart is really good on Nunu.
True, true.
Here comes Goong.
Coming down, yep, but Bang & Wolf already on the disengage, so they won't have any issues with that. Faker picked up a Brutalizer before he picked up his pickaxe, so just doing a little bit more damage there. Giant arrow. Oh. Giant disappointment.
Goong just playing back right here. I really would like to know how that gank in mid lane happened, but
I think we saw it, man. He just walked up and hit him with his ult.
yeah. Well, I wonder if Faker landed his ult first, actually.
Oh, yeah. You're probably right, actually. That makes a lot of sense when you think about what Varus' ult does.
All right, so SK Telecom going to go for their first dragon right here. Just
taking it very fast.
Yep.
Easy.
Early dragon shouldn't be a problem at all. Marin actually wandering down from the top side. As Duke just continues to farm out this lane. That kill was absolutely huge for Duke right here.
Yep, top lane Nunu. Really the MVP so far
of
this game. He just ate one of those wolves in one bite. That was amazing. Oh, hi.
Throw a house at Marin while he comes back and eats a cannon minion.
Yep. Well.
So that CS lead dwindled a little bit as a result of that kill too. So about 1,000 gold lead for SK Telecom right now. Not anything that Najin has to worry about. And it's about the next about 10 minutes of this game to see whether SK Telecom is actually going to be able to feasibly win this game or not, because they're going to need a large gold lead.
Yeah, they're on their way, but just barely at this point. On their way in that they have a lead at all. But Faker might be able to just kill the turret right here.
Huge.
Yeah.
Huge. If he can get the turret on this wave, that's going to free up a lot.
He probably could have, but that would have been a little bit of an overcommitment with
he had
Pure nearby.
Yeah, he had a ward right there, so he knew Pure was coming in. But that's going to buy perhaps enough time. We'll see what he actually gets.
Tom coming in, and Duke just hops his way out of that one. Oh, nice arrow.
Not too much to be gained right there. Goong now has to play more aggressively on this minion wave to prevent it from hitting the turret, and for Faker to get the 1 or 2 auto attacks that it will take to eliminate that tower.
Probably is just like 1 at this point.
Yeah, they're very, very close.
You know, I feel like Varus can drop that bow. I don't think it's actually part of his hand.
I have no idea.
I'd have to double check. I'm not 100% sure, but I'd have to reread the lore, you know?
Oh, wow, nice
on the
hook.
bang. Yeah, Pure. Oh, the Flay dodge with the flash, though. And Pure uses that box and doesn't hit anybody. A lot of damage onto him from the culling.
Still
via bang.
got the flash out with just the death sentence right there. Did burn the ignite, but
Got the flash from Wolf as well.
yeah, very nicely done. On that hook on the dash from Bang. And now Watch playing around the mid lane because they need to keep Faker back at this point. They're desperately trying to clear out some of these vision wards so that Faker can't actually continue to push up as aggressively. They've saved that turret for a surprisingly long time now, though.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's been a lot of focus, but what happens when that focus has to inevitably shift somewhere else, you know? I mean, this lane and bot lane is going to be pushing forward at some point. Everyone's standing on a ward now. That doesn't help.
You can see right there, Duke is just building pretty much only magic resistance at this point, which could be a problem considering that everyone is actually going to be dealing damage.
That is kind of an odd commitment to magic resistance.
The Merc Tread and the Cowl doesn't surprise me. The additional Negatron Cloak on top of that surprises me.
Because you wonder what he's going to build out of that, you know? Or if he's just going to sell them a little bit. We'll see. A lot of action down in the bot lane. Looks like Najin may be able to actually claim the first turret of the game. They do. They will.
That's huge that they get the first tower right here.
Yeah.
And they got it off of that play from Pure, dealing enough damage and scaring SK Telecom enough to recall so that this Jinx could get some time with the tower in minigun form alone. So that's going to be very useful. Now, will they sacrifice mid for it? Whoa.
Oh, if Faker had hit that, man, that would have been a dead Lulu. Either way, it's a dead turret. And that's still a dead Lulu, maybe. Wild Growth having to be used to keep Goong alive.
That's such a good trade for Najin, though. Trading 1-for-1 at this stage in the game is huge, especially on a tower that was pretty much guaranteed dead anyway. To take one away from SK Telecom that was still pretty far up there in health is really, really nice.
Right. And now they're going to shift that bottom lane to the top, and OQ and Pure can start working on this Nunu lane. Oh, bring in OQ. Can he grab him? They get the flash, actually, out of Marin.
Yeah, has to be used right there just because of the aggressive play. And now they're going to maybe get another turret right now. Lucian's already there, so he will be able to clear it out. But Marin's going to get a long lane to farm up in, get even tankier.
Yeah.
He's going for a Hex Drinker actually next.
Wow. Because why not?
Well, what Najin's trying to do is just elongate this laning phase if they can.
Oh, there we go. Faker with the ult on to Goong. Can he win the 1v1? Faker whimsied, taking a lot of damage. There's a Wild Growth. Goong's got this one. And Goong wins the 1v1 against Faker.
I mean, he has Ignite.
Yeah,
so
he does.
Faker way too far up right there, deciding not to use the flash. Had the heal, but that's it. And this is all coming undone right now. The power spike for SK Telecom is rapidly waning. They've traded evenly during this period and even found themselves a bit behind as Watch, Pure, and OQ roll through the topside river.
Well, Lulu
and
is...
what they're trying to do right here, as we take a look at this 1v1 again, so Faker hits Goong, but he gets immediately turned into a little kitten, and then Goong just walks up and Wild Growths and kills him. So that actually wasn't very exciting.
Well, Lulu is a pretty good matchup against Varus, so that's not the biggest
it's a
shock.
solid pick.
Yeah.
This is why picking the Varus early is somewhat dangerous.
Yeah.
So, in terms of Duke's itemization, if we look at the Home Guard and the Hex Drinker, what they really just want to do right now is continue to punish this Nunu and have Gnar push the Nunu up repeatedly, and then that way SK Telecom can't group with the Nunu and the Blood Boil doesn't get onto their 80 carries, meaning the Nunu does absolutely nothing in this game. So Duke's going to return to the top side because Dragon is live and push up on that tier 1. And then they'll probably go back just to having him in the Nunu lane one more time.
Faker just trying to poke out Najin as much as he can before going back into the mid lane. But SKT may need to give this one up.
They need to make something happen. Now they have the poke to poke them off the Dragon. SKT probably should get this Dragon.
Well, the Varus ult is really good if Faker can land it too.
Yes. This early in the game, Najin probably shouldn't be able to contest this very effectively.
Just all the shields, like everything Najin has is so good against this Varus.
But Faker has so much mana right now with that stacked up tier, and you can see Lucian just pushing the tier 2 in the mid lane while they keep on poking. And the culling can come in as well. Najin, risky. Duke says he's in a good place with his Narbar though.
Yeah, that's right. He'll become Mega Gnar in just a moment here. A little bit of poke coming in from Faker. Can Tom steal this dragon? Yes, he can. He gets it. Pure going very low as well. Now Faker getting a huge ult onto the enemy team. A big ult comes in from Tom as well. And SKT finds exactly the fight they were looking for. OQ over the wall, comes bang for another one. Faker gets the kill anyway. And now Duke and Pure Goong as well in a lot of trouble under turret. Faker poking so hard with those arrows. Gets crap though. Everybody all in onto Faker, but Bang gets the kill anyway. Faker's still getting away. Goong taken down by Wolf. A bit of bloodthirsty support action there. And Duke the last man standing, but perhaps not for long. We'll see if he can get himself executed on a turret. Nope. Nope, not going to happen. Oh, right into Wolf. Come on. Double kill for the support. Feels so good. Yeah. There we go. So in the end, SK Telecom aces Najin, and they get the dragon. They get 5 kills out of it. SKT find a way.
Now they got their 4K lead that they needed because Najin decided to fight a second dragon that they absolutely did not have to go for. And if you look right here, they're fighting right in SK Telecom's power spike. They had done such a good job of getting rid of it before. Faker hits a really nice Varus ultimate. But look at the poke coming in. These 280 carries just melt through. Remember, Duke has no armor right now. There's no way that they can actually contest against 2 blood-boiled 80 carries at this phase of the game. They just needed to extend the laning phase. Really poor Dragon Call, but you can see how powerful this composition is in the power spike that they've got.
Nice flash from Faker at the end to keep himself alive.
Yeah, they just absolutely murdered Najin.
Yep. More action going on right now. They caught Tom for the moment. Faker threw out his ult. That's hard to say. I'm never using that sentence again. Oh, Tom gets grabbed. Makes it away, though. Oh! Good thing Sejuani is a tanky boar.
Well, now, with all of the armor penetration that SK Telecom has on Faker, they should just be able to push up right here, keep on moving through these towers, as they've had that opportunity to...
Wow, that's a crit.
Well, Duke has no armor. Duke has a cloth armor right now. What the hell is he going to do?
That arrow wasn't even charged for very long, so that means that Faker could be doing even more right now. Yeah, Varus is fun once you get a lot of damage on him. Wow, yeah. Nidalee Spear 2.0 potentially.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
It's just astonishing to me that Najin would accept that fight. It was only going to be SKT's second dragon.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing, is that was like the only way that SKT could really come back.
Najin had done so well.
Yeah.
And they could have just traded for the tier 1 and top side as well. Just kept Gnar up there.
Well, Baron started by SKT as Faker takes down the top lane turret and just keeps pushing. Here comes Najin, though. They're going to need Faker to come back here. They disengage. Duke about to become Mega Gnar. So SKT trying with a Baron opportunity, but no, not with that Mega Gnar around.
Yeah, now Najin is going to group his 5 in the mid lane, try and take something in return for that top lane tower, but they are so far behind in gold now after that fight.
Well, they just need to worry about getting Varus ulted as well here, too. Culling clears out that wave. That turret still has more than half of its health remaining. And here comes Faker with the Yomu Skulls played, actually. Build that passive up, man. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, might as well use that extra brutalizer for something.
I was going to say, yeah.
Now that it doesn't turn into the Black Cleaver any longer.
Yep.
So he'll be able to take down turrets really quickly with that.
Yes, he will. Wow. Well, Faker certainly has shown us the poking and teamfight utility that Varus offers.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think it's a bad pick in certain matchups. It's just Najin completely messed up this game, and SK Telecom took precisely the fight they should have.
Yep. Just kind of waiting for it. Wolf just going to clear out another ward in the Baron pit. They've got the pink there.
Well, Watch finally has some armor. Going for the Randuin's Omen now, and Duke finishing up his Warden's Mail, but with Faker already with the last Whisper and Bang going to complete it imminently, they're just ahead of the curve on armor penetration versus armor.
Yeah, very true. Now, if Najin can somehow stall things out until like the ultra late game,
oh yeah, they're fine.
Yeah, they do okay. Fine. But right now, SKT just with a huge threat. I mean, they can bait this Baron all day because they know they can win team fights. Najin might try this here, though. Baron going down very, very quickly. Faker just zoning with that hail of arrows. A lot of damage onto Pure. Watch comes in. Baron's still a bit low. Watch takes the Lantern out again. Ult gets used. Doesn't really connect too much with anybody. Baron taken by SKT. And do they pursue for the fight? There's the culling. They get the kill onto Duke. And I think SKT can be pretty satisfied with just that.
Yeah, that was actually a very well done Baron by SK Telecom.
Yeah.
Great timing on Tom's ultimate to keep Rek'Sai over the wall after the Lantern was backing out, making sure that Watch couldn't flash it and try and smite it.
Yep. And this poke from SKT, combined with the Baron buff, there's just no stopping them now. Not for the next couple minutes anyway. And Marin, you know, while he's not going to do any damage, he is tanky enough to sit in there and take some hits at least as they take out this first inhibitor. Wow, OQ just gets really low from another Varus arrow.
Yeah. SK Telecom just nailing their aggression while they have the opportunity and going ahead and snowballing this game with the early Baron take.
And a third dragon now, too. Completely unopposed. And it's got to feel bad if you're Najin. You had the game right where you wanted it, then you just gave it away.
They were in such a good space.
Yep.
Less than 1,000 gold deficit in some harder lanes.
They should have known that the only good space is on CJ right now. That was their first mistake, Monty.
Jeez.
Couldn't resist.
Yeah, they traded the tower as well. I mean, it was all looking so good.
And so maybe after this game we can say competitively, professionally, Faker is undefeated on Varus.
That's something we're almost certainly going to be able to say at this point.
Yep.
Given the 9,000 gold lead of the Baron that they have.
Helps quite a bit.
As well as just such a powerful siege composition.
Yeah.
And how does Najin engage here? They really can't. They don't have great flanking champions. They have to basically Duke has to teleport.
Well, the big part of it, too, is that they kept both Gragas and Sejuani away from Watch. You know, this Rek'Sai can make picks, but it's just not as great at doing what the other champions could do for Najin in a team fight.
Well, they also took away, if you'll notice, they took away the two hard engaged junglers to run this. They took Gragas and Sejuani away.
Yep.
So at this point, Rek'Sai doesn't have that same engage potential. Neither does a champion, obviously, like Nunu, which was also taken in the end.
And another turret just easily taken by SK Telecom. Najin cannot really defend this. Yep, we'll see if there's any sort of desperation fight. Pushback for now as the minion wave gets a little bit low. Wow, man, Faker's just doing so much damage now. Man, it is Nidalee Spear 2.0. That's what happens when Varus gets to this level.
It is like watching Faker play Nidalee.
Yeah, it is. And he's so accurate with these two, obviously, like any good Varus would be. And the second inhibitor taking a lot of damage. These arrows, there's just nothing Najin can do against it.
He said his last 4 in a row.
Arrowed.
Definitely arrowed.
Yep. Oh, so you had to say it. You had to say it, so you had to miss one. You slow people with the hail of arrows, and then you can hit them pretty easily, too. But no, take a big chunk out of Pure instead. SKT just sort of having a bit of a vacation. And now, there we go, the ultimate onto Pure. Faker going to be able to maybe get a kill there. Wildgrow saves him, but Tom comes in with the big Sejuani ult. And now SKT, they've got the ults. They've got the double kill onto Varus, and they've got everything he needs. Make that a triple kill. Wow. Duke just barely living through that one, and that is it. A 2-0 for SK Telecom, and Faker bringing the Varus in the mid lane and bringing the pain. That is it. GG.
That last team fight was so beautifully played. And one thing you can say about SK Telecom is they're really good at that Varus Sejuani synergy. Because Tom's chaining of the Glacial Prison after the Chain of Corruption hit was really beautiful right there.
Yeah, just letting the veteran, letting Faker decide, when the best time to start the engage would be, and then after the chains are done, then